As a mother, I know that I would do anything for my child. And I know most mothers are made that way. But she says it's too much. What her child deserves, she cannot give it to a point that she wants to give her up.
All right, Miss Nancy, what I was saying is that not all that you wish in life that you get always. But for her point, I would say, because you don't like your countrymen. You are wishing to have cars. No, like I'm making my point here, please.
Yeah.
Because we have some women in this country, like they feel like we the men also we don't deserve them. And there's a say that not all glitters is gold.
It's gold.
Yeah. So if you expect this and you don't get it, why are you saying that you're going to adopt your daughter?
She's going to give her.
There's a lot of people. There are a lot of women out there selling pure water to take care of their children. We have a lot of single mothers. So why don't you think of that? I don't support that.
Thank you. That's an opinion. Yes, gentlemen?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nancy. I'm Kenneth Kumsen from Obri Institute of Technology. So I want to ask her a question. I wanted to know if she has any family member, if she has one. I think a mistake is not a mistake until a past time, and right is not a right until a past time. Despite she feels maybe she has done something which is a mistake, I would say that for now it's not a mistake until a past time. So if she has any family member, she could give that child to that family member and go and work rather than saying
Giving
that
her up for
giving
adoption.
her, because at the end of the day, it's your child. And you can take care of that child better than anyone.
Well, I am the only mother here. I'm assuming I'm the only mother in the studio, right? I need another woman, I need another voice so that the conversation would be very objective and we all can learn from it. I tell you that on Confessions, we bring other people's life experiences, conversations, confessions, and we make it like our own so that someday if your friend, that child that looks up to you, your own self, you encounter a problem like that, you would know how to deal with it. So we deal with it beyond the person's confession and make it an everyday thing. To help us have this conversation tonight is Lady Pastor Ada, who is also a mother. Let us make her feel wonderful, welcome, and appreciated. My lady.
Hi, Miss Nancy. You didn't put on a red shoe today.
Beautiful.
I was waiting for you to read with me.
I know, right? Take it. You look good.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Good to have you too. Hey.
My lady, the confession. You're a mother.
Yeah.
How many?
4.
You have 4 children?
Yeah.
That you birthed or you adopted?
Well, I'm a mother, so I have 4 children in my home, so 4.
Wonderful. Beautiful. You know about a mother's love.
Yeah.
She says that she's done everything possible. For the past 2 terms, this child has not been to school.
Right.
She feels that this child deserves better than she could ever give. It means she has given up on the effort she's making. She knows that there is a limitation as to what she can do.
Right.
She's thinking of giving her up to a family that can love her and give her a better life than she has to offer. Can one love another's child more than the mother herself?
Yes, sometimes. There are people who haven't understood the calling of mother yet. It's the reason why people give birth and take their children to their mothers to raise them.
Yes.
There are people who are still struggling to embrace the responsibility of
Motherhood.
The love of motherhood is far different from the emotional expression you have for an opposite sex. The love of a mother is till you die. So it comes with a certain level of responsibility.
Yes.
People haven't gotten to that level yet. So there are people who are best raised and loved by grandma more than mama. There are people who are best raised by aunties more than mama. There are people who have no mama at all and have never had a mama experience. So other people raise them. So yes, there are people at some time that could love more than mother, but ultimately mother should love more.
At what point, I am a mother and I know that at any point, I would rather sacrifice myself for my child.
Yeah.
And this is just one child. At what point do you come to the conclusion that I cannot do it, so let me give her up? What is she giving up? Is she giving up the responsibility of raising the child? Is she giving up the financial responsibility, the emotional responsibility? What exactly is she trying to give up?
Okay, Miss Nancy, she's giving up on herself, not even on the child. You know, the very moment you decide to have an affair with a man or a woman, you should be ready for a gift in the name of a child. And when God gives you that gift, he gives you whatever you have to equip you as a steward to raise that child. And the things that God gives you are not only flashy cars and beautiful houses and all of that. He gives you sound mind and tenacity because that road will make you understand him, God, better.
Yes.
So if you go to churches, you see there are more women than men. Your child will do the worst and you have to be there. You have to break your back and be there as a mother for the child. So it is not she giving up on the child. It is she giving up on her tenacity, her ability to say that this is just a phase. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to do it. And my child will look at me and be proud of me.
So it's herself.
It is herself.
She's given up on.
No, yes. So if you think, oh, I'm giving up the child, no. Even if the child goes, you'll still be in the same state that you are.
If not worse.
If not worse. Because, I mean, children are amazing.
They are.
Do you know how many times we get home so depressed, so angry?
And they will
after we have listened to everybody and you don't know what to do. And at the mention of, you're even sleeping, and they come to ask you, Mama, are you sleeping? What exactly am I doing? And that alone brings you revival. It brings life back into you. So as much as the child you think is a challenge, it is also a way that is making you survive.
This is a gift that causes you to survive.
This is a gift for you to survive.
Before we conclude on her matter, the men that are excited to take their pants down, that are excited to explore every sexual position, but are not excited to take responsibility of what comes along with the orgasm. Those men. They come in black, white, brown, blue. Those men. They come from all the tribes. My sister, those men.
Those men. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Everywhere you find them. Like MTN.
Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go. But again, men are men. We will never understand that set of being just the same way they will never understand women. It is not right. I built a principle just 3 days ago. You can be ashamed of your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, and decide not to show them to the world. But you can never be ashamed of your own offspring.
A part of you,
that
your
is,
DNA.
That is you. That is your tomorrow. That is your next voice. Because you're not going to be a fine man, a fine guy all your life. Even if you are fine and rich and have it all, there will be a point in your life that you will not breathe no more. Somebody got to carry your surname. Somebody got to carry your mentality. Somebody got to carry your power. Somebody got to continue what you ended. Do you want to die ending your generation?
My lady.
So
I mean, there are men here in the studio. You're a man, are you not? There is a man here representing all the irresponsible men. My brother, I know you were a great man, a great husband and a father. The men from all over Africa, men from all over the world, from what she says, this man is a foreigner. So we are not even dealing with a Ghanaian. And they get people pregnant and they are not bothered and they leave them and they do not care.
Sometimes they fear.
I need my brother to talk to them. Charles, you got to do this.
Okay. First of all, I want to correct an impression that my brother there, said that, they are not interested in Ghanaian men. They are looking at foreigners. Please, deadbeat fathers can be found anywhere. It's a thing of personality and it's a thing of an individual. Having said that, I think the women, before I even go to the responsibilities of the men, the women should also be very careful. Do not get involved with someone that has nothing to lose. Do not get involved with someone that have a different, mindset from yours.
Yeah.
That's the first step. If you get it wrong from the initial, stage, it's going to be wrong. And these red flags are there. But because of greed, because of fantasies, frivolities.
Sometimes love.
Well, we could say love, but when you say love, we have to be realistic here. Sometimes it's more of fantasies than the so-called love. The red flags are there, but the women ignore it for one reason or the other and go in, and these are the results. So women should be very careful who they get involved with. Sometimes you see these things. Do not throw them under the carpet. Look at them critically and take decisions. That is number one on the side of the women. Then on the side of the men should also do better. It's not enough to take up a lady and get to the point of having children with them and abandoning them. Like the woman of God says something that when you get involved with an opposite sex, you should expect a gift. And that gift comes in form of a child. So it should be at the back of your mind that when you are getting involved with somebody, there is a consequence to it. Well, I wouldn't say consequence, there is a result to it. So the men should do better, take up responsibilities, talk about these things. If you have reservations, fears, discuss it, with whoever that you are involved with. Look for a way to be I wouldn't say an assistant, look for a way to play the role of a man in the life of the child you've brought into the world. Don't leave it for the women. Don't run away. Don't, feel that I'm not concerned. Coming to think of it also, again, men always complain that when kids grow, they are more attached to their mother. When kids, excel in life, their mothers are celebrated and their fathers are ignored. Most times, the fathers are the cause. If you are not involved in the life of your children, these are the things you will get. I'm a man. I wouldn't want to, base my assertions on emotions. These are realities.
Yes.
If you don't want to play that role, you can't take that glory. Please, men, we should do better. Thank you.
Still on the men, I'm glad that there's another man wearing orange sitting right in front of me. Alafia, there are men who are financially present, but mentally absent from the home. There are men who live in the same houses with their children, do not know their children's best friends, do not even know the schools their children go to, do not know their favorite teachers, have never had the privilege of doing homework with their children, never been to PTA. There are men physically present in the home, but not present in the lives of their children.
This is a tough one, Miss Nancy. But let me start from this point. I want to hit the lady and come to the men. There are so many young ladies out there. This is an advice to you. You meet them and you are talking to them and you are trying to counsel them. And they tell you, me them person me worry bruni. Most or some of the girls, they have that mentality in there. Me person me worry bruni. I want to date a white man. I want to date a white man.
I want to marry
We can
a white
do a
man.
survey in this studio, and you have one or two of them.
But
Why?
white man for no way. White man for no.
Because I'm saying
Thankfully,
it. You understand?
thankfully.
You see, Miss Nancy, it's about time we face reality, like my big brother said. There are things that we have already psychologically prepared into our mindset. So even when you meet someone whom might be a very good husband into the future, you don't notice them because you have prepared something in there.
That is given. I mean, my
You
lady has
understand?
spoken about it.
Now-
I'm talking about you, the men. You
Yes.
have to take responsibility for this one. On this confession, it is a runaway dad, a healthy, responsible adult who had great orgasm and decided not to take responsibility for his joy in the bedroom.
Let me go to the man who is a foreigner, and then I'll come to the general man. The man who happens to be a foreigner, when the lady was dating him, did she inquire? Did she do a search? Did she, one way or the other, find out the red flags? Sometimes the phone calls that he has from his hometown or his country, where he's speaking from, do you hear that he speaks to his wife, his children? Is he even married before he got to Ghana? Because of the fantasy, the monetary things, the luxury, the fun, you know, the angles of sex positions and all that. So she was enjoying all things, not knowing that there's something at the end of the tunnel. She didn't plan about that. That is what has gotten her into that trouble. And I can tell her that she shouldn't be lazy. She's trying to be a lazy girl. She shouldn't be. Because like my brother said, most ladies are selling tomatoes. Our mother sold yam, plantain, kobe, and whatever on the streets. People are selling wache. People are selling cocoa, porridge by the roadside. And their children have been in the university. They are single mothers. We should applaud those single mothers. You understand? But come to generality of men that don't take care of their children. First of all, and we tribal trace. When you are dating a guy, find out whether his parents are together. Are some of his senior brothers or senior sisters married? How are they coping? Do you monitor all these things? If you don't, you always fall into this kind of troubles. Aside of that, fathers that don't take care of homes or that are not familiar with their children, they are not closer, and other things, you don't justify it with one point. Some, because of their jobs or job area lines, this is what happens. Because some of them stay away for a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, those people, you cannot blame them. But there are others who are also staying away 2 months, 3 months, and they can use mobile phones, video calls, to have that rapport. So at times you see that these things, it happens based on individual differences and how we were trained. I would say, I always confess on this show, I happen to be a bad father. But after 10 years, I realize it. And I have to pick up the pieces. And I can tell you for sure. Now, even some of my extended family members are jealous of how I have become so close to my children and how bonding we are now. The mistakes are there. You can make them. But it is always difficult for a man, a strong man, a man who believes in God and believes in himself and thinks that he can make some difference in his or her family. Make that choice, and everybody will praise you. Today, I can stand on confession and say that I made a lot of mistakes over 10 years. And after 10 years, when I corrected them, we have a bonding family. So fathers, you can change your lifestyle and have a bonding family.
Whilst we are on the issue, there is a woman that I personally met in the Domain market. And this woman has 9 children. and currently has a family of 19 that she is the breadwinner of. All she does is sell tomatoes at the Dome market. Her name is Auntie Helen, and I had the experience, and I would be grateful if, we would be able to put Auntie Helen's experience with me in the Dome market in this episode. And people, whilst we're at it, I think that this woman that has sold tomatoes for as long as she can remember to take care of her family as a single woman because she lost her husband deserves a standing ovation. People, let's get up and celebrate Auntie Helen. These are the kind of great women that needs to be celebrated. Please have your seats. And I promised that the team Confessions, we are taking her out and we're going to give her an awesome day. We're going to give her a makeover. We're taking her to the spa. She'll get her skin scrubbed. For the many years the sun has damaged her skin, we will give her a body massage. We will fix her hair. We're going to Studio 7 at Jawulu. We're fixing her hair. We're trimming her eyebrows. We're dressing her up, making her up. This is what television can do. So as we are on this case, we're still looking at women like Auntie Helen. And I'm sure that if you're watching the Tonight Show and you've been frustrated, challenged with raising your children, one woman at Dome Market with tomatoes has raised a family of 19. You can do better. Let me take this break. We will be right back. Don't go away. You are welcome back to Confessions, brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Lady Pastor, we're still here in the studio, yes. And I want to know motherhood, parenting. Is it for everyone?
No. It should be, but not everybody can embrace it. And so regardless of everything that we are saying, I understand her plight. Because there have been days that even some of us wish we were not mothers because you can't provide to a certain level. But you get to understand that whatever you were doing, you are a steward for those children from above. You account for them.
Yes.
So if I can't give this today, I believe I can give tomorrow. And so I solely understand where she's coming from, her emotional place and everything. Parenting is not for everybody because not everybody have understood the calling, the purpose, and the accountability of life. Until you get these things right, you understand that one day God would ask you about the child that he gave you. Even as that, you can be the best parent today, and tomorrow your child is something else. And still the ministry got to go. So it was supposed to be for everybody, but not everybody can embrace that calling. So I am suspecting that she didn't have a deeper conversation with the foreigner. Because one of the things God is blessing me to study is the mentality of people, location, and religion and background.
Yes.
A plain white man can say, I don't want to be a dad. Simple.
And that's
Nothing
Nothing changes.
I don't care about legacy. I just don't want to be a dad. They are as blunt.
Yes.
And so he's not moved by your sentiment. He's not moved by whatever you do. Just maybe he was abandoned by a father.
And he didn't die.
And he didn't die. So in his mind, he has been traumatized so much that he doesn't want to see that episode. So usually when we are going out with a man, with a woman, understand their mentality. Don't understand what you think alone. Understand the way they think. Understand their way and see if it can work with your way. Because once in the future, this feeling is going to die. What is going to keep us going is our mentality, it's our language.
Wonderful. My lady out there.
Nancy.
Hi.
It saddened my heart to hear this. The child is so innocent to go through this. When we look on our streets, we have a lot of street children suffering. They are innocent. They don't know anything, but they had to go through all those lifestyle just to put something in their stomach. I believe that as young as we are, when we are into courtship or when we are dating, we should always have it at the back of our minds that when we are giving birth, are we going to be able to take care of the baby alone if the man doesn't come in, or if the boy's family doesn't come in to support us? Are we able to going to take the baby alone? If you think about that and you know that you are not ready for a baby, you do things. It's not 5 minutes pleasure that you put innocent baby's life in danger.
Yes.
It's not 10 minutes pleasure. So whilst we are going out, having fun, we should also protect ourselves, because I've realized that the boys, they don't get pregnant, so they don't really care. They are just having fun. But we, the ladies, we should always put it at the back of our mind that we are going to get pregnant. And when we get pregnant, what are we going to do? So we have to protect ourselves. In the act, ask the guy, do you have a condom? If you don't have a condom, no sex. Yes, because I don't want the results. Yes, so that's what I can say to my fellow ladies. Thank you.
Now, what is it about guys not ready to father children and yet not ready to use protection? What is it? They would insist that you, the young woman who has never had a child, should go into family planning. So that because they do not want the kind of pleasure they anticipate.
Because the daughter now has a rapper.
Can you imagine?
It's not the same. Oh, the one
it's not the same, but you are not ready to father a child.
Miss Nancy, something simple. There are girls you meet out there, they tell you, just get me pregnant, I'll take care of them.
Yeah.
Those girls should be careful. And my guys, we should be wise. Those girls out there that we meet and they tell us, I'm saying it in generality for Ghanaian men, you meet all men across the world, you meet girls and they tell you, oh, you just make me pregnant, I'll take care of it. And then after 5-10 years, they come back and they start fighting you. You met the guy, you knew the guy was broke. The guy doesn't have anything to do. He wasn't having a job. But because of his physique, because of the skills he has in the bedroom, you convince him that, give me a child. And sometimes, mother-in-laws, they will also come in and tell you, Beman Tintin Gramo. Beman Abeth.
Oh, my people.
Hey, Joanna and Womaye. We'll take care of our grandchildren. We'll take care of our children. This is serious.
Oh, yes.
So the guys, we should also, or men, we should also be wise. When all these sweet things, they are cooking for you, taking you out, giving you a car to ride, maybe giving you some small jobs, when you are not financially sound or mentally, when you are not sound and stable and you are not ready for babies or children, please make sure, like my sister said, I'll support her, use a condom or protect yourself.
We're trying to let us go back to the confessor and give her help. What are some of the things that a woman can do to make sure that her child goes to school and gets enough education? This is a story. This is a child I have seen. I know her school. I mean, what kind of lifestyle changes are we suggesting to this mother so that the child can at least go back to school, if not the same school that she was in, but something more affordable?
So let me just say this with her. Life cannot always be the way you want it to be. Aside God being the Alpha and Omega of our life, life gives us phases.
It does.
And so the Ecclesiastes says there are times and seasons. There are times to cry, and there are times to laugh. There are times to give up, and there are times to hold on. And so it is okay, no disrespect to your emotion, it is okay that you feel tired. If you can't maintain this lifestyle, change it to what you can maintain. Now, children are not very, they don't even care where they go to school no more. What they care much is the affection of love that the mother is giving her. It could be a Saito. It could be a 200 Ghana cedi school. Don't think that she looks
Daddy-ish.
so you have to keep a certain standard. No. At this point,
put
when
that
you have
pressure on
children, you
yourself.
don't fake it till you make it. You fake it till you make it when you don't have any responsibility.
Yeah.
The moment there is a child involved,
picture.
face the reality as it. Buy her brown and deep brown and light brown uniform. Go to Kanta, get her a black shoe and a white socks. Iron it with love, no school bus. We are going to trek to the school. When we close, Mama is back to take
pick you up.
In few years, your daughter will tell Mommy, don't come and pick me back again.
I
I'll
will be
walk
able
with
to
my
walk.
friends.
I'm walking with my friends.
That is built.
Priceless.
It's priceless. Thank
Yes.
you. It's no amount of education. Education is not just in school. What are you talking about? The education of life is not what we have in school.
No.
If not, some of us will not be sitting here. It is not school. It is God. It is life. If she's destined to be the president of this country, whether she went to an international school, or she went to a street school, or she went to a ghetto school, she will become.
Now, let me take this opportunity and celebrate all the LAMA people in the
Community
in
schools.
Parliament, in
Yes.
ministry, in
Yes.
great places in Ghana, even on television. LAMA for we are all
And
here.
they are still Alice. They are still children in that school. They are not learning British curriculum, but they are doing well.
Go to Parliament House and see how many external schools, bougie school, are there. Look at Ghana, where we're living. We're being governed.
We are doing so
and we're
well.
good.
Step off the game. Leave the standard you can afford. And your child would appreciate it because she's going to see it in the future. I'm careful because it's a girl.
Yeah, it's a girl.
We got to build our girls not to be fairy tale girls.
Yes.
Because where we are,
Realistic girls.
you have to be tough. Where God is taking women now, you got to have the balls to go. God is raising that kind of woman. So it's not all ribbons and all of that anymore. Train your girl accordingly. Single room in a corner is what you can afford, so
Live there.
be it. We are there. But for you to give your child to somebody, it's a no-go area.
Now, this is it. If you're struggling with life, you need to calm down and be able to start afresh. So if starting afresh is what you need to do it. Your life is not in comparison with no one, and you got to live it. People, I want us to shame the men in our society, the irresponsible men. When I call out their names, you say, shame on you. Are you with me? If you ever impregnated a woman and didn't take responsibility, shame on you. If you ever had a child and has not shown any emotional, physical, or financial interest in the child, shame on you. If you are watching Confessions tonight and your children cannot call you daddy and relate to you as daddy because you were actually there, a big shame on you. This is the end of this episode. My name is Miss Nancy. This is Confessions on TV3.